name is Herbert Hofer. I'm an Austrian. I was born in '46 in Wiener Neustadt, a small town in Austria. After the war, everything was gray and black. We had nothing. But I had dreams. I had incredible dreams. What's behind the mountains? What's on the other side of those blue mountains? It must be an exciting world. I mean, I had an imagination always as a child. So after a lot of things happening in my life, in my childhood, and studying architecture in Austria, I left for Germany, later on England, and went also to South Africa, looking for my luck. After working as an interior designer, as a decorator, anything what could be in the graphic field also, and almost artistic as well. I had this new destination, Istanbul, because this was at the time, where everything was exciting for young people. And I said, of course, I have to go to Istanbul. Of course, I never made it. I made it to North Africa, stayed in Morocco for a while, and then as a stowaway on a Turkish ship, I made it back to Europe. Landed in Naples. I had no idea first where I was, Italy, and hitchhiked to Rome, walked, and I ended up in the Piazza Navona. It was one of the most beautiful places in the world. I called it the greatest living room of this Western Hemisphere. And I saw other people there, artists, call it, want to be movie actors, want to be glamorous people. And it was the glorious '69, the time of the Dolce Vita. And we all, especially in our age, we still dream about, wow, how exciting must have been. And I ended up, like I said, Piazza Navona, Piazza Santa Maria in Trastevere, Café de Paris on Via Veneto. It was totally glamorous. So I started also to sell my paintings, sell my drawings. And one day somebody walked up to us, I didn't speak that well Italian at the time, and he said something in Italian. And I said to my friend, what was he saying? He said, if anybody can ride a horse. I said, I can ride a horse. Of course, I'd do anything to pay my rent. And so the guy came and said, okay, tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, here's the address. And this is how I started actually in the movie business, in the celluloid industry of the world at the time, as a stuntman. I tell you the truth, I would take any job. If they would have said you have to jump from the 5th floor, I would do it because, the rent has to be paid. But from one thing to the other, one of the directors or one of the assistant directors said, anybody of you, whatever names they called us, can say something. I said, I can say something. So he gave me this word, okay. And I was supposed to film the next day with the lead actor, a thing where I walk up to him, he says something to me, I say, okay, and I walk away, and that was it. All night long, it was a horror. I was standing in front of the mirror, okay, give it all variation, all trying all night long. Next day, I'm coming there. I'm here, I'm ready to say my first okay, my first speaking part in a movie. The director comes in and says, okay, this guy is coming here, the actor is here, this one is here, this one is here. And this one says, okay, and walks away. I said, this is my part. He said, who is this guy? Get him off the set. He doesn't even belong here, So it was crashed me totally, I said, never again they see me in the movie business. But as time went on, somebody else came and said, listen, we need some guy who plays an American or, sometimes a Swede, sometimes a German. So this is where I kind of grinded into this in this business. And after Sergio Leone, after starting small parts with bigger directors, I also encountered the genius of Italian movie making, Federico Fellini. Everybody called him the maestro. And I was like, oh my God, this is not happening in my lifetime. And I met the maestro, and he kind of liked me. He thought I was at the time a funny guy, and he put me always in situations with, of course, grotesque, beautiful women. Um, uh, this was his specialty, to take people off the street and just crash them into his movies and let them do whatever they wanted to do. And after the first movie was, I think, Ginger and Fred, then there was the other movie was called The Interview, and so and of course the famous La Nave Va, the ship sails on, and it was one of those films, after the First World War, or during the First World War, when the aristocracy left Europe, afraid, and it was like the political kind of satire what he did at the time. So of course I was already an artist, so I went home and I prepared my first exhibition, and I came to this conclusion: I have to do something also what impresses me in this moment, and it was the last film, La Nave Va, the ship sails on, and I did a painting, a ship with three cats on it, aristocratic cats, ladies and a gentleman with his sword and monocles and stuff. And of course, I invited the maestro to my exhibition. It was my first gallery exhibition in Rome, actually. And the maestro, from that moment on, he became my collector also. And he called me all the time, and a very endearing term, the little maestro. So it was a very exciting time for me. And from that point on, I was excited about everything what has to do with art and culture, because I had the first taste of that people like my stuff. Not just, my friends say, oh, yeah, I like it. And it was people, capacities like Sergio Leone, Robert De Niro, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and people like that. They included me in their collections. And it was, of course, extremely interesting.